Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, where last time we, what did we do? I think the last thing we did was we got to know Cassia a bit more, right? It has been, close to a week since I last played. I went on a little vacation where I had no computer, so I wasn't able to play at all. But yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to know Cassia a bit, and then we were trying to make our way over to the prison planet, which is I think where we're at now. And we kept getting interrupted. But we're here now, so let's go ahead and move forward.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
Hey, it's Viserion. There we go. Take that, scum. It's all your fault. All of it. Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one. A rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. No. We're not at the prison planet. There's like a riot going on down below on our ship, right? That's what we're dealing with now. Did you hear? They were shouting your name. The people dared to disrespect a senior officer. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. That's right. That's all coming back to me, right? It was between him and somebody else. We're arguing. Yeah. I'll remember. It'll come back to me. The people dared to disrespect. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom. They dared to respect a senior officer? They would not have the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here. And if this situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers. Abelard grimaces. It is a junior officer's worst failing, to pass problems up the chain of command. I have never been able to abide it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here on Lieutenant Vince's whim, Lord Captain. I must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer, Abelard adds peevishly. But, in the name of Tara, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter, and she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down cultists? It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Damn, are you that old, Abelard? Great-granddaughter? They were shouting your name. Of course they were. The organization of the daily routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders. The mountain of challenges and problems from which I endeavor to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been a cause of concern, and I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them, you are akin to a creature of legend. One who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less. Whereas I am the man whose name is attached to every order docking rations or lowering a bay's heating. Let's keep moving. Hello, rabble.
The world will bow.
Wow, nobles from the upper deck down here to see us? Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material. This must be where the workers sleep between shifts. That's an interesting image. Right? We have that sort of such a natural kind of description of like a nest, but it's built out of futuristic materials. Okay, let's keep moving. We got valves here. More rabble. Can't do anything with the valves, so just leave them, I guess. Greetings, Your Grace. Alright, lower deck rabble. Over there, okay. Let's go through this door. Oops. What are these symbols they got? Frenzy. Okay. So we don't want to fight them. They're buffed at the moment. Got some goods though here. I'll take those. Machine right set. Yeah, we can send it all to our cargo. Inside the box, a string of scratched letters run along the edge. Different first names, but the same surname. It looks like this box has been passed down in the family from generation to generation. That's kind of cool. Alright, is that all that's here?
I tread a path unexplored.
Alright, let's go up here. There was a path over here. Can I get through this door? Down here?
The whispers told me a secret.
Where? Where? Is it this? A container can be seen beyond the massive bars. Perhaps examining the pipe will allow you to reach it. Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live. That's what Adira is saying. Oh, this is banter. I'm gonna... Is he gonna respawn? How do I, We had apparently spotted a secret, but I don't know how to...
The world
Do we need to, like...
trembles beneath my feet.
I'm not sure. Emperor, save us and keep us this... This is depressing. Yeah, okay. I'm guessing I have to do something with the valves, but I don't really know.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Wow, nobles from the upper deck down here to see us. Again, they all have the same line. A Vrilevent. The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant of Vrilevent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already, and has now reached boiling point. I have my orders to put an end to the unrest and purge this sector. You can't take your orders and you can take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So, not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vent, the officer looming over her, or both. Your ladyship! Noticing you, the 2 junior officers snap to attention and salute, the subordinates following suit a moment later. What's the situation? We encountered some locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried throwing things at us. I want to speak to the strikers. I give the assault unit permission to open fire. We will crush the seeds of insurrection with full force. What's the situation? Your ladyship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control, as far as resources allow. I want to speak with the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vent's eyes. I like how they, got ready to fight down there.
The world will bow.
What is this? Huge pipes, the arteries of the ship, run through many bays, delivering air, water, heat, and the propulsive force of steam. Is this a steamship? Steam-powered spaceship? It's kind of fun. Looks pretty hot down here. Yeah, I don't know what we do with these valves. I don't know, am I supposed to, like, hit them with something, or what? I'm sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at our journal real quick, though. Are we on... The crew losses suffered... Where do we... Is this what we're on? Yeah. The Lord Captain has received a plea to assess the actions of Seneschal Viserion. As a result of Viserion's decisions regarding a situation in one of the sectors on the lower decks, the problem now threatens to engulf the whole ship. The 3 clans that instigated the unrest in Depot 4 are awaiting a response to the demands. The assault unit dispatched by the Seneschal is also awaiting orders. Okay. Our children are freezing. We've done nothing. For Depot 4.
True power.
Alright, here we go. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Tell me what is troubling you. Striking? That's news to us, your ladyship, says a tall, thin man in a worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole bays for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The woman spits on the floor and rubs the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. That's nasty. Why you can touch your own spit? Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. Stager, it's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no fellow feeling toward us. The grim man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your ladyship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. The persecution started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and that there are heretics hiding here. Abelard, do you have anything to add? We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? What changes do you want? Yeah, I was led to believe that a cultist was found here. A cultist amulet? What's that? A Guga that found one. The Guga that. Oh my god. The Guga they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not. And if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when the fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever treaded these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh, girl, you better watch your mouth. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirit of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we are people of faith. Naive children. Weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, holy sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had had my third little one. That is regrettable. But you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Abelard, do you have anything to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. We were attacked on the way here. Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out, as if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that the lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who'd had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and the glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain herself is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old Nan. Don't never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks, too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist body, and we'll talk to them. One lower decker to another. If there are more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. That's reasonable. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise the world now, but as soon as the anointed one turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Thoughts, Abelard? We can try and coerce them. Spreading anarchy on this ship is the first step toward embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. Fine. I'll give the order for the enforcers to be withdrawn from this sector, and you will be given weapons. Let's see how you cope governing yourselves and what difference it makes. You have failed to convince me of your trustworthiness. This unrest ends now. Everyone who is involved will be eliminated. Damn. Not a lot of options, really. Thoughts, Abelard? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want. Even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. Abaddon's face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds like a metal choking vice. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple: give them no quarter. Damn. We have 90% chance of success here with Cassia in our group. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. Coercion test succeeded. The tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old Nan, listen. Listen. The Lord Captain herself has come down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader. Let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's no time to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old Nan. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made up our minds. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great. Just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. Then it's decided. The persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. You have failed to convince me of your trustworthiness. Yeah. Then it's decided. Your ladyship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. I have a feeling that this is going to come back to haunt me. Of course, your ladyship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers, and we'll leave no stone unturned. This is a complete bedlam. Are you satisfied, Lord Captain? Then may I suggest something? Then may I suggest we leave this circus and discuss everything en route?
I tread a path unexplored.
Yeah, we will. I want to just take a look around down here real quick. How do I use the valves? That's what I want to know.
Let's seize the opportunity. Ruinous favor prevails.
The gauge shows that the steam pressure in this pipe is close to the maximum. However, it does not reach the bars at the other end. This page is where the start of each shift is marked. The last mark is missing. The workers went on strike. Right, we knew that much. The heat sink warms the air around it to a scorching temperature. This is the warmest part of the bay. The workers have even dragged deck chairs here. Yeah, we'll take all that. Thank you very much.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
Oh, this is nothing is happening. Perhaps turning a different valve will work. Could I always use them? No, I'm confident that's not the case. Okay. So now apparently we can use the valves.
Intriguing.
Okay, let's take a look around. Yeah, we can use this valve now. Looks like we can only use them once, too.
Powers
Guess I'll use all the ones they let me
uncover
use.
my path.
Nothing. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to close that.
Embrace true power.
Alright, this one over here. What if there's like a specific order I'm supposed to be doing them in?
The world
It doesn't look like they're
will
like
bow.
resetting or anything, which is nice. Oh, there we go. We're able to get this thing. Use your tech use there.
Triumphant as always.
Alright, got some force grenades, crack grenades, and melta charges, and multi-keys. We'll take it all. Very cool. I'm a little worried that they had those there, but...
Let's seize the opportunity.
Oh, and that was it. Everything's handled now. Or we can't select any more of the valves, anyway. That's not the way we go. So back to the main exit over here. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companion saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Abelard looks at you, and his last vestiges of restraint vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak havoc. Whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valencia's protectorate? Do not speak to your Lord Captain in that tone. Why are you so angry? I solved the problem. There is some truth to your criticism. Let's talk about your role in all this instead. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. Yeah. So I want him to speak his mind, right? We definitely want him to continue to speak his mind. Option 2 is just kind of like us being rather ignorant about what was happening. There is some truth to his criticism. That could happen. That could happen, right? It's very possible. Or do we want to lay into him? There is some truth to your criticism. We don't want to... We haven't known each other quite long enough for me to feel comfortable laying into him. I don't think we have a problem with his loyalty. I think he's going to be loyal, but until we felt like we've earned his loyalty, I don't think we want to do that. There is some truth to your criticism. I should say so. Abelard heaves a sigh, but he visibly relaxes. You simply needed to trust me. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, Abelard says irascibly. Remember Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. Oof. There's a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. I would be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation had spiraled out of your control, Abelard. Give me a reason why I should continue listening to your advice and trusting your judgment. Right now, I don't see any. I like number 1. I won't repeat her mistakes. Abelard looks at you stunned and exhales loudly. Then he nods curtly. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And Abelard stands straight at attention. I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. Abelard speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodore's deeds and the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods, to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, into the advancement of the entire protocol, or protectorate, rested on my shoulder. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. Oh my god, dude. Give me a speech. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible. And to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. I get what he's saying. I get it. I do. And listen, I'm not planning on getting rid of all procedures. It was just this one. Well, for now anyway. Theodora trusted in established procedures, and she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep building the future of the Von Valencia's protectorate with me, stop living in the past. I like that one. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Commander and rogue trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodora is gone, and where you and I have new decisions to make. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's protectorate is just as important to me. You're the only person who has comprehensive knowledge of how things are run on the ship. I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. I value what Theodora created, and I trust that the situation is an aberration in the ship's otherwise smooth operation. Since the established procedures are working, I see no reason to change them. I have seen plenty of sentiment and hand-wringing in recent days, but very little competence. I have no plans to rely on your judgment or your tried and tested procedures in the future. I wish I knew more about Theodora. Like, how successful is she? Or was she? Like, she seems to have been a really strong rogue trader, but I don't know how long she was the rogue trader. And I don't know how successful she really was as rogue trader. So it kind of makes me makes it hard to sort of criticize her in this first one, right? Like, everybody dies eventually. Ooh, this is tough. I kind of like number 2. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and rogue trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodora is gone, and where you and I have new decisions to make. Yeah, I'm going to say that one. Abelard solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable, and demonstrates a strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. Continue. And now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places. Alright, quest completed. Few completed quests. Is this one? The Seneschal wishes to speak. Okay, but no, we've already. I thought there'd be like a. No, I thought there'd be like more information. Oh, we leveled up. Level up. Okay. Another ranking soldier. We get characteristic and a common talent this level. So our characteristics. So we don't really have anything besides intelligence, which we can't pick as being the next like step up. I think we're gonna go with ballistics. Yep. And then for common talent, enemies gain no melee superiority bonuses against this character. Gain 2 movement speed. I do like that. Dueling mastery. That's for parry. Laser weapon, nimble. Dodge. Solid projectile weapon experts. Solid projectile weapon attacks gain +2 minimum damage. Is that what I'm using? I don't know what I'm using. It will not die. Increase wounds by half of the character. Yeah, that's the toughness thing. Get a lot of training and weapon skills and stuff. So this here would give me up to 50 in that, wouldn't it? That's pretty good, isn't it? I feel like that might be a good thing just to grab. Let's see what else we got though. Down at the bottom. Advanced skill tech use. Get more in tech use. That could be useful. The character can also re-roll failed skill tests. +1 attempt for each test. I like that. That actually seems really good. Right, here are some of my this is my background, right? From my Fortress World. Each round, Fortress World characters gain stacking 1% dodge against ranged attacks for each shot they made during this round. Also, the burst attack grants an additional 10 stacks of never stop shooting. Familiar kickback. Fortress World characters gain stacks of never stop shooting equal to half the minimal damage of the most damaging ranged weapon they used this round. Now you can reload faster. Never stop believing. This is all my nobility stuff. I kind of like getting advanced tech use. Yeah, that'll help out here. Yeah, I'm gonna get advanced tech use. There we go. Look at my tech score. Woo-wee. Yeah, that gives us a second chance on all that stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to do just about all the tech stuff now. With her anyway. Alright, Abelard. You get characteristic and common talent as well. So for you, your weapon skill or your toughness. What's increasing this by 5 right now? Then we want to get toughness. Just to make sure that's 60 even if he loses that item. And then for this, I do think actually swift movement would be good for you. So it will not die though. Reduces the required strength value for heavy weapons by -25. I don't know if he needs that. Any advanced skills for you? No, so he could get tech use, but I don't need multiple people with tech use. Do not falter. All allies impacted by brace for impact. Do not suffer the negative effects of melee superiority for the entire combat. In melee combat, any target surrounded by more allies than enemies receives a +10 weapon skill bonus for each additional ally Larger creatures need to be surrounded by more than 2 enemies to provide this advantage to the attackers. Scatter all allies impacted by Brace for Impact. Do I have Brace for Impact? I don't remember that. Get off me. No heresy. Stronger together. All allies excluding Xenos. Are we gonna get Xenos allies? That's cool. And the current party gain +5 to the same characteristic as was chosen for humanity's finest. Which was... What was that for you? Get rid of that. Can I see that? Humanity's finest. Toughness. So everybody would get +5 to toughness. You know, that's actually not bad. I kind of like that. Let's do that. Yeah, I like that. That's actually a really big buff, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe it's not as big as I think. I like it, though. Alright. Let's get out of here. To the bridge. Reports received. Confirm that verification is complete. All is well on the bridge, Lord Captain. Alright, very good, everybody. Abelard, do you have anything new to say?
Lord Captain.
No. Okay.
Lord.
Can I sit on my throne? Is there anything to do there? No. I think we're good to go. To the Expanse. Alright, so this is the prison world, right? Tithe Grade. Undetermined. And scan that up. We got the Ricadi Filia, the prison planetoid. I think we've already got that. Everybody's already in, right? Yeah. So we're gonna get one more party member at least to fill out the party. Let's see what's going on this world here. Press any key. It's a cool craft we've got. Nobody to greet us? No, that's suspicious. People should always be ready to greet me. Alright, so ability for you and a skill. So for your abilities, you're being recommended precise attack. For the next attack against a target affected by an exploit, the target's cover efficiency will be reduced by -5 plus perception bonus times stacks of exploit percent. Yeah, This attack will have a +5 plus perception times stack of exploit percent chance to hit. I like that. Joint analysis. Until the operative's next turn, their allies' attacks also remove exploits and deal plus int bonus more damage. So +3. I like precise attack more, I think. We get that. And so you are very good at well, you're not even close to me at tech use. So I think we're going to get logic for you instead. Yeah, that put her logic up to 40. Or do we want to get something else? We go warp. It'd be 46. Xenos, that'd be 40. Imperium, 40. Medicae would be 40. Awareness. Awareness would be up to 75. I do think that would probably be good. Yeah, let's go with awareness. The game doesn't know what to recommend me. Alright, so you get skills, and this is locked. Why is this locked? Hello? You already have this feature. Huh? Oh. Okay. Well then, sure, go agility. That's fine. And then here... Do you have any advanced skills you could pick up? No. I feel like Grenader would be good, though. For her. Ready to serve, better to die for the Emperor. While under 40% wounds, Imperial World characters gain a plus 10 bonus. Oh, wait, I could get stronger together for you, too, couldn't I? What did you get for Humanity's Finest? Agility. Ooh. I mean, I feel like those are really good to have. You could stack a bunch of them. Unless the ability scores are not as or is not as important as I'm thinking they are. But yeah, we're gonna go with that. So that improves everybody's toughness should be higher right now. Right? My agility should be higher now too. Doesn't really like show me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What does that talent do again? Where is it? All allies, excluding in the current party. Yeah, so we should get higher. Okay. Maybe it just hasn't been calculated or doesn't show in that. I don't know. Alright, for you. You are an officer. So choose ability and common talent. Air of Authority. The officer increases an ally's resolve by 2. Plus resolve divided by 2. Until the end of combat. Okay, so before. If the target is under the effects of voice of command, they will start their next turn with 1 additional action point. Oh, that's cool. Get back in the fight. The officer encourages an ally who immediately recovers from burning, bleeding, toxin, and stun effects. If the target is under the effects of voice of command, they also gain 2 times the officer's WP bonus, willpower bonus, of temporary wounds. Okay. Getting rid of those, being able to get rid of those things is actually pretty good, I feel like. So yeah, I'm going to get back in the fight. And for this, let's see what you got. Any advanced skills besides tech use? No. And then we have all these things. Yikes, so many. Negative power, they have been used in combat. The never gains plus 2 perception until the end of turn. Blood augury. I think I'm pretty sure we've read some of these. Maybe up to ebb and flow, because that's what we got last time, right? Enemies damaged by the navigator suffer plus 2 times perception bonus % of damage from warp damage. Okay. I have Oblivion. Every enemy the navigator has in their line of sight has its dodge and hit chance reduced by... That seems really good. Ebb and flow, we got what? What does this do? Every even turn, the navigator gains an additional action point. Yeah, that seems really good. I like Eye of Oblivion. Tonicity. Navigator path powers deal 1 additional damage for every 5 bonus characteristics of the navigator's currently equipped staff. Okay. That could be good. Mastery of Time. Whenever a creature in combat gains an extra turn, the navigator gains a stacking plus 5 bonus to willpower until the end of combat. The navigator makes all resistance tests with their willpower if it is higher than the base characteristic for such test. If the navigator's willpower is the higher is higher than their toughness. The navigator's wounds are calculated according to their willpower. Ooh, that could be really good for her. Just make her a bit more sustainable. Open to the warp. Enemies affected by the navigator's ability suffer minus or stacking -10 penalty to the next resistance test from navigator powers. Pass unscathed. If the navigator's perception is higher than their agility, their dodge is calculated using perception instead. So perception is going to be your thing, huh? Oh, okay, so hopefully, I don't think Adira and her are going to be like super synergized, because I kind of built Adira how I'm going to be building this girl. Whenever the navigator uses a navigator's ability, veil degradation is reduced by -1. Oh wow, I thought we were almost done. Okay, strange vitality. The navigator heals 5 wounds at the beginning of every turn. It gives an additional wound for every navigator talent taken. The healing increases by 1 for every creature killed in between the navigator's turns. Also kind of cool. Enemies moved by the navigator's ability suffer 5 damage at the end of movement. This damage is increased by 2 for every cell the enemy moves. Threads and faults. Whenever an enemy fails a resistance test against a navigator's power, attacks against them gain 20 plus 2 times perception bonus % critical hit chance. And it stacks, but is reset by a critical hit. Until the end of combat, enemies damaged by the navigator suffer an additional 5 damage from all attacks of opportunity and cannot dodge them. The Sea of Souls, Undam. While under effect of any navigator power, enemies have their armor reduced by -2 times navigator's willpower bonus. This reduction is increased by the devastating parameter of the navigator's staff, but does not stack. Allies that are targeted by the navigator's abilities gain +5 to all resistance tests against the warp. Against warp effects caused by demons, psychic powers, navigator powers, etc. Until the end of combat, the effects stack with every applied navigator ability. Unnatural Allure. The navigator gains +5 to fellowship and an additional 1 fellowship for every navigator talent and or navigator power taken. Okay. Veil of Protection. Allies that are targeted by the navigator's powers gain 10% armor. This additional armor is reduced by the amount of veil degradation and increased by the infusing of the currently equipped navigator staff. In Guide of Souls, the navigator starts all turns, including extra turns, with +3 additional movement speed. The first ally targeted each turn by the navigator with a single target ability gains the same amount of additional movement points at the start of the next turn. Okay, that's kind of cool. I think we're going to get mind over matter. Yep. Yeah, that increased her wounds by quite a bit there. I think she's as tanky as Abelard now. Or no. Close, though. She is the next tankiest, though. Okay. So, looking at the time, I think we're going to save the... before we, get introduced into anything here, we're going to save this mission, this planet, or the start of it at least, for the next episode. Yep, we're going to check this loot, though. I can't resist. Oh, look at that. Great stuff. Okay, until the next episode, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.